Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Tonight we're checking out a 2022, the new Ford Lightning full electric vehicle at night. So this video focuses on the interior and exterior lighting of the vehicle. Check my channel for the full overview and test drive videos. Those are separate videos. So when we hit the unlock button, it's going to turn on the exterior lights, including this really bright approach light here on the side of the vehicle. Check it out completely. The whole side of the vehicle is illuminated now. So when you approach the vehicle, you can see what you're stepping on, and which is great. I love that brightness. The LEDs are fantastic. And of course you have the lights around the vehicle as well. If you have the vehicle running and you turn the headlight switch to the off position, then you can turn off all the exterior lights. It's that simple. Some vehicles don't allow you to turn off the exterior lights. There's always some extra exterior lights on, even when you turn the switch off, so this is nice. So now I have the parking lights turned on, and you'll see there's a nice, relatively soft glow light here on the side. It's really impressive. Not overly bearing or anything, but it does give you a glow around the vehicle. And then there's a more sharper, brighter light here in the front. Let me turn the brightness down a little bit so we can see that a little bit better. So this light's quite a bit brighter than the soft one here on the side. And there's also an amber light here as well that turns on. Amber side marker. Let's take a look from the front. So we still don't have the headlights on yet, just the parking lights. Tail lights kind of wrap around to the side of the vehicle quite a bit. They're almost mostly there on the side and a little bit there on the back, but they're visible, of course, from all directions, basically the side and even the front. They're visible. Now they look a little bit orangey on camera, but let me just kind of change the brightness here in different amounts, so hopefully it'll show it the way it actually looks, which is a deep red. The turn signal here in the front is amber in color, and it basically replaces that sharp light that's in the front with the amber flashing. And the amber flashing is really bright. It's much, much brighter than the light that it's displacing. So once again, let me turn the brightness down so hopefully we can see what's going on here. Yeah, you can see that it is super bright. It's actually blind at this point right here. It's really blinding me. It's very bright. There's also an amber turn signal indicator here on the side mirror, and it's visible from the front, the side, and the back. Mostly the side though, but you can see it from the front and back as well. And the tail light basically just flashes the existing light in red in a brighter, much brighter light. So it takes that existing red light and just flashes it brighter. Now this could potentially be mistaken as like a brake light or something like that temporarily, but since it's not amber and it's the same light, it's not a different light. But it is definitely bright. You're not going to miss that. Okay, so let's go from the parking lights to the headlights. So there's off, there's the parking lights, there's the headlights, there's the high beams and low beams. I'll show you what it looks like going down the road, but let's look at the low beams to start off with. So we have all the other lights that we saw on before, and now it adds these two projector headlights for the low beams. So you can see there's two on each side, and you see it's the upper one that's hitting the camera. As I dip down, there's a cutoff line, and it's the upper projector that's mostly your low beams. So let me turn the brightness down so we can see it in more detail here. So here's two projectors, one at the top and one on the bottom. So now I have the high beams on, and the high beams if I dip down, you'll notice that the bright light is coming from the bottom projector. So you have the low beams coming from the top projector and the high beams coming from the lower projector, and combined they cover the entire area of the road very, very well, as we'll see when we're going down the road. Fantastic headlights, especially for an electric vehicle. Now those turn signal indicators that we saw here on the side mirror, they're also like spotlights. So they illuminate the side of the vehicle. So you can probably see it better on the other side. So you can see over there, and I'm going to turn it on, and you can see it illuminates that bush over there. So let's walk over there. So if you need to see on the side of the vehicle a little bit more, you have these spotlights. Now I say they're spotlights. They're bright, but they're not like super duper bright like an actual spotlight, but they do give you some light here on the side of the vehicle where you normally don't have it. When you turn on the cargo lights, it illuminates the bed lighting, of course, but it also illuminates some area behind the vehicle from the tailgate, plus those side lights here, those puddle lights, are illuminated as well. So back here, we have a fairly bright LED light that illuminates the ground behind the vehicle, and the tailgate's up. If we lower the tailgate, then that light basically just shines there on the ground, which is still good so you can see what you're stepping on. And now we're left with the lights here in the bed, which are pretty dang good. Those two lights there on the back of the cab illuminate this whole area fairly well. And with a black spray-in bed liner, it's still, you can see in here almost everywhere, really good. There's also some indicator lights here for the generator system, where you can the inverter system in which you can plug in different devices here. The cargo light in the front trunk is awesome. So we have two over-the-shoulder type lights, very bright LEDs. You can see those underneath the trunk lid, and it's actually several lights there in each housing. And check it out, it just illuminates this whole area great. So even without any actual lights in the area, it's above it, it's able to illuminate it great. It's not casting shadows or anything. Even with my equipment in the way, you're able to see everything nicely. The inside of the back door, when you open it up, the puddle light comes on the side, so you can see the ground fairly well, and that's just coming from the side mirror, which is still good because you can see the ground. You see it's covering most of the ground here. But the inside of the back door, there's no lights whatsoever. So there's no lights here in this compartments area. Here, even the handle is dark. This compartment's dark as well. You do have a little light to help you find the power window, but other than that, it's completely dark. Now the interior lights, there's two little LED lights on both sides here and there, and it illuminates the back seat fairly well. Even the floorboard is well illuminated because the lights are so bright. They do a good job. Back here, there's a little bit of a blue light there, so you can find the charge inputs. So there's USB charge inputs here, and then there's a power inverter on that side. It's amazing to have 20 amp power inverter right there. 12 volt power supply here as well, but it's not illuminated. So when you lift the seats up, you can even see under those as well. Those interior lights are nice and bright. Even with the black interior, it's fine. The inside of the front door, now you notice the puddle light is on the side mirror. So now it's illuminating outside the door, not inside the door. So when you open up the door, hopefully you took note of what's there before you open the door. So now it's kind of dark here, but still, still works because you saw the ground before you opened the door. So the inside of the front door, same thing, dark pockets here and here. But you do have backlit illuminated buttons here for the power windows, door lock control, side mirror controls, that kind of stuff. Now the front is illuminated by these LEDs here in the center, and there's a pair basically. In the back you have 2 pairs, so it seems a little bit more light there in the back, but some of the back light spills over to the front, and it seems to do a decent job. There is some shadows there in the floorboard, but it does do a decent job of illuminating. And you will need these interior lights because there is some more dark pockets coming ahead. So now I have the door open with the interior lights on, so you can see what it looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and shut the door. So now we're left with the backlit buttons. So you can see there to the left of the steering wheel, there's some. In the door we saw that, but now we're seeing them in a darker environment. So there's no floorboard illumination. The steering wheel is illuminated nicely with the buttons, easy to see, easy to read. The gauge is basically a screen, so no problem there as far as seeing it. You can set the brightness, of course. And right now we have it at a higher brightness. Let me lower it down so you can see the range. And then when you adjust that, it also adjusts all these other lights here too. So it makes it simple. I'll put it down just a tad. The screen looks nice at night. It's not too bright and blasting your face, like and blinding you, because that is an issue with some vehicles. See some backlit buttons there. Climate control is all nicely lit. There's USB ports that are lit as well, but there is a compartment in here that is just completely dark. Let me turn on the interior light here so you can see what I'm talking about. Right in here is dark. Cup holders are dark. All this is dark. But you'll notice that there's a little bit of an ambient light or a moonlight. Seems like saying ambient light sometimes confuses people, but it is like a filler type light for real dark environments, and it kind of helps you get your bearings in this area without blinding you. And those lights are coming from up here. So you can see right there, there's a little one there and one right here, and they do a really good job. It's not super dark right now, and you can see them, so it kind of helps out with, you know, seeing in the vehicle. And you can see there's the lights right here on that side. You can also have it to where it turns on with the door. You can turn on all the interior lights here as well. The visors do not have any lights, unfortunately, in this trim, the Pro trim. Alright, so moving on this way, so we saw that light right there, which helps out a whole lot, considering there's a lot of darkness there. Under the armrest, there's the compartment, and it has a light deep in there, which is nice. You can see in the lower portion, the upper portion, there's no light shining up here. So once again, let me turn the lights on. So you can see this part is dark. So everything in the top part is dark, but underneath is nicely lit, which is nice, because that's really where you need it the most, is down there. Alright, glove compartment, completely dark. The compartment above it is completely dark. So once again, let me turn the lights on so you can see what I'm talking about. These two compartments definitely need some light. That's a big disappointment. So yeah, I mean, there's some limitations. There's some excellent parts, but there's some limitations, of course, like any vehicle. But this one, you know, I know it's a low trim, so, you know, I would rather have, I guess, some of the premium features that this vehicle has than, say, a light in the glove compartment necessarily. So like this spotlight that's here on the side of the vehicle, that is really nice to have. And you can say that that's more useful depending on your needs than the light in the glove compartment. So if there's a trade-off, if there's the cost and benefits are such that you have to do away with one to get another, you know, I can make the case, or at least for me anyway, I kind of like those spotlights there on the side. Also the other lights, like in the front trunk and the cargo area, is nicely lit. So, you know, there's some trade-offs, but overall I think it's okay considering the trim level. Still a little bit disappointed though that the glove compartment, and, you know, a few things, if just add a little tiny bit of light here and there helps out, but you know, I can understand a little bit, I guess. It's just a little bit disappointing. Now let's look at the camera so you can see around the vehicle, and even in the dark, just a little bit of light you can see really good. And the bed lights, when we turn those on, you can see in there nice. Come back up to a trailer, you can see that's the hitch right here. That's where the hitch would be, right there in the very center. That's the rear bumper. And there's the rear view, starting with the bumper and then the center line. Active guidelines as well, when you have it in reverse anyway. Then there's the top down and front view. You see the headlights moving? Those are active bending headlights. So as I turn the steering wheel, it turns the actual headlights. So the automatic high beams are on. You can see that it's a little bit lower on the oncoming traffic lane with the headlights, has a clear cutoff to try to avoid blinding other drivers, because they are bright headlights. So there's the high beams right there. They're automatically turned on, and it's not being fooled by all these lights ahead of me, which is nice. And it illuminates everything good right now. We'll see when we get to a little bit darker area. Yeah, the active bending, it's not really that, you can see the movement of the headlights doesn't really add much to the experience. Maybe in certain scenarios they would help, but all right, so there we go. Yeah, so this is a nice dark road. It has a good setback with the woods, with the trees and everything. And we can see the road really nicely. We can see the trees off in the distance, and everything's basically evenly lit, evenly distributed light, and I can see pretty darn good. I think these remind me of the platinum headlights on the F-150, which were basically my favorite, or the best headlights I've experienced. So these are right up there. You know, these is basically appear to be the same system. It is great. And for an electric vehicle that has to be concerned about how much electricity you're using, it seems to be really good. And I notice when it goes from high to low beams, it kind of fades instead of just like an on-off, on-off. It has like it's a slow fade. I don't know if you see that. It's like a slow fade to the high beams, slow fade to the low beams. Pretty interesting. I don't think I've seen that before, in a transition from high to low beams being a slow fade. Yeah, these are excellent. I mean, there's no question about it. These are excellent headlights. They're excellent headlights. Also, the height of the vehicle help out with projecting the light down the road a little bit better. Yeah, they appear to be also auto leveling. going up and down these hills a little bit. It seems like it was avoiding, blinding the oncoming driver by leveling the headlights. I have to look into that. I'm pretty sure they're auto leveling in addition to the active bending, and that would be more useful than just the bending itself, the left and right motion, because it doesn't move a whole lot, and you can see everything around you anyway. So the slight movement makes it just seems a little gimmicky to me. It's not really necessary. You can see everything fine. But look at that. See, there's lots of reflective signs in front of us, and until I slowed down, it went to the high beams, and it's not getting fooled by all these reflectors and stuff. Some automatic high beams are just really annoying because they get fooled by all kinds of lights, and they really dim the lights at the wrong time and stuff like that. But anyways, these are working nice. Yeah, really enjoying this vehicle all around.